Have you ever had one of those weeks where everyone around you seems to have an opinion about what you should be doing with your life, and you're just standing there like, I have no freaking clue? That's been my week this week. Happy Thursday. My name's Alyssa, and you're tuning in to Room for Sunshine. God, and it's just so frustrating, you know? I guess it depends where it's coming from, but this has been one of those weeks where everyone around me seems to have an opinion about what I should be doing. And that's great because this was also a week where I was like, what am I doing with my life? Where am I? Who am I? Like, what is happening? How did I get here? I like to call this existential crisis mode. And that's where I've been. And that's chill. And like normally I'm pretty good about handling that. I can handle my own crisis. You know? When things go up in flames, yeah, I might need to call a friend or my mom and I need to probably vent, but like I got it, you know? I'm a personal fire extinguisher for my own fires. Like I know how to self-regulate most of the time. But what I have no remedy for, and good evening, by the way. Thanks for tuning back in. Thanks for joining me. What I have no remedy for is, I hope you had a great week, by the way. I have no remedy for how to respond when everyone around you seems to be coming at you with their opinion or reflection of what you should be doing. And it's not to say that what they're saying isn't valuable, but when it gets overloaded, how do you filter through the noise and the BS to decide what even resonates with you? And for example, I just keep thinking about, I'm in a really interesting position in my own life with career. So, you know, I have a full foot in the door with my yoga teaching career. And my yoga peeps, like they want me to own that brand 100%. Like, you are the yoga teacher, go do the yoga thing. So all of their opinions and advice tend to be related to that world. And that's cool. You know, like I get it. That's their choice to go 100% into something. I'm more of like a 50-50 kind of gal. Like I'm really not a lukewarm person. Like I don't want a lukewarm bath, but in a career situation, I'm lukewarm. I'm actually like hot, 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 but in 3 different hot tubs. Like I got a foot here, a foot there, and my head dunked in at the other one. And so then, you know, my home community, my OG people are kind of like, okay, podcast, writing, these other things, like how are they going? And so there I am doing all of these other things that I'm like, feel like full-time jobs that I love doing, but then they have their own opinions based on what they want to see or what they think the world needs from me. And then like the third confusing category is the people from each world who want me to be in the opposite world. Like I was talking to somebody who's from the film world who's like, just stay in Bali forever, never leave, teach yoga your whole life. And I'm like, oh, okay, but like that throws a wrench in my plans. And then I'm over here with a yoga student of mine the other day who's like, you've done what you needed to do here. Like, you're ready. Go back out into the world. Leave Bali. Take the podcast and run. And thankfully, taking the podcast just means taking this lovely, beautiful microphone. Thank you. I love you. And my phone. So, and you. We're on the road together. And so what's my point here? My point here is we are surrounded by noise all the time. We are surrounded by everyone else giving us their opinion about us, for us, to us, all the time, all day long. And I didn't even realize that it was happening as much as it happens until this week, when it happened so many times in a row that I was like, enough. And that's really like my body, our bodies tell us a lot. I've learned to listen to my, like that feeling of, if you're listening and not watching me, slunching down in defeat is really what I was feeling this week of like, I don't want to take any more from anybody else because it's getting so noisy that I don't even know what I want or I need for myself. And then I can't take the fire extinguisher and extinguish everybody else in their worlds, in their thoughts. So here I am just trying to like move and filter through and take what I need as my own. So I share this today because if you've ever felt that way, I just want you to know that I see you and I resonate with you. And part of my hope and wish for having a podcast is just to share that like it's going to get noisy. Even if you have all the mindful practices in the world, even if you have the best, healthiest relationships in the world, naturally as people, we want to contribute. We want to share. And I think for myself, like, I have to take my own medicine. You know, I love giving advice. When people ask me for advice, I come running, sprinting down the track. I'm like, I am there. What do you need? Let's game plan. Let's sort it all out. Like, yes, my energy just like sparkles. I don't even know where I was going with that. I got so excited with the train of thought that I lost this. And really my point in just saying all of that this Thursday evening is to say that it's going to get noisy. It's going to get loud. And for those of us who love sharing, that's a beautiful thing. You know, I had a friend who gave me amazing feedback the other day and I was like, perfect. That was useful. I'm going to do something with it. And even there there's micro filtering. So in a list of 7 things that happened this week, I had to look at each situation and go, okay, what of this one is useful? What stays? What goes? Check. Cross that off the list. Let it go. Forget about it. On to number 2. And the reason I had to move through this process is because otherwise it builds up and it just becomes overwhelming because then you hear all the voices in the head that you never really like cleared the air with. And those imaginary voices are normally the ones that come back to haunt us and go, you're not doing enough, or you're doing too much, or put your energy here, or focus on this. And so whether you've had a week like mine, or yours was amazing and open and loving and free-spirited, or anywhere in the spectrum that is life, I just want tonight's episode to be a reminder that only you can turn the radio up and can turn the radio down. Only you have the power to take in what you believe is useful music for your life and what is white noise that needs to just get pushed away. And when it's blaring extra loud, you don't need to listen. Sometimes it's actually more useful to not listen, to go, thank you so much, bye, close the door and say, you know what? I just don't need that today. Not today, not now, not with where I'm at right now in this part of my life. And how do we do that, I guess, is ultimately first looking at whatever the thing is and deciding, is this useful to me here and now? And if it's not useful in this present moment or in the near future, I would say either table it and go, I'm going to come back to it later, or let it go. And then little by little, we start to cultivate the skill of being able to decide what is useful information that's coming through and what is just not, what's a waste of my time, so that in these weeks when I, like what I experienced, where it becomes overwhelming, you know, I just started crying in the middle of a restaurant today at 11 in the morning. And I was like, that's from the noise. That's the emotional response to caring too much about what everyone else around me has to say, rather than focusing my energy on what I know is good for me. And that's really hard when it's going to look different for you than other people want it to. And it's going to be extra hard when different parts of yourself need you to honor different things that might contradict or clash what people expect of you and what you expect of yourself. So if you have a chance this weekend to just take a few deep breaths and to acknowledge the fact that it is so amazing to have people in your life who share feedback with you, to have enough opportunities out in the world where you can learn and grow and change on a daily basis, And then also take a few deep breaths just to honor the fact that you have all of the power within you to say yes or no to what you allow in. And then that's how we take back the control, the healthy amount of control that allows us to live more authentically and to feel lighter. And I don't know about you, but I like having lightness. The heaviness is good. We work through the mud, but then we grow a flower. So let's blossom. It's summer. Spring already sprung. Let the flower bloom even more. Keep it alive. Water it, nurture it, feed it, do all the things. And before we go too far, my name was Alyssa. It was Alyssa. It still is Alyssa. And this is still Room for Sunshine. Have an amazing weekend. And I will be back with you Monday morning.